very clearly identified as humanitarian workers.
We can speak now to Moshe Lavi, brother-in-law of one of the hostages still being held, Omri Miran. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. As there is this wait for Hamas's response to this ceasefire and hostage release framework, what is this time like for the families of the hostages?
Thank you, Sumi, for having me tonight. As you can imagine, it's been yet another difficult week for families of hostages who are eagerly waiting for Hamas to provide its response to President Trump's proposal, a proposal that is backed by so many Arab, Muslim, and countries and the wider international community, and of course our government, the Israeli government. It's difficult. The past 24 hours or so, many of the families have been fasting or dedicating their time for Yom Kippur, and we're still waiting. That's all I can say. We try to be realistic, but hold on to hope as well.
What, if anything, do we know about Omri's well-being?
We don't know much, but we do know he's still alive. From the reports that came out from the tunnels and from videos that were shown over the past few months, it's clear that the hostages are tortured, are deprived of food and sanitation, water and sunlight. And so we can only imagine the terrible conditions in which he's being held. But at the same time, we know how strong he is mentally and how he's probably doing everything he can in his power to survive so that he can reunite with my sister Lishai and her two daughters, Ronnie and Alma. We just hope that we get a chance to meet him again, to hug him again. And we call the international community to pressure Hamas tonight in order to provide finally an answer that will benefit, a positive answer that will benefit both Israelis and, of course, as well, the Gazans.
Are you confident that the ceasefire and hostage release framework that has been agreed by Israel is the right opportunity, the right way to proceed in getting hostages released?
I don't know what's the right way because I'm not a policymaker or a strategist. What I do know as an observer and as someone who's within this ongoing crisis, protracted crisis for the past 2 years, is that there have been so many different proposals. And time again, we have been seeing different actors rejecting them or stalling. I see that this proposal puts a framework for the end of the war, which is something everyone in the region wants to see, including Israelis and Gazans, puts a framework for the immediate release of all the hostages within the first 72 hours, which is what we need to see. They are in the most dire conditions. They must be released as soon as possible, and also lays foundations for a future in Gaza in which the region is demilitarized, in which Gazans can build a future for themselves and live side by side with Israel without having radical elements like Hamas, the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and others controlling them in an authoritarian and Islamist fashion.
And can I ask you just quickly, Moshe, if you can, what would you like to see from President Trump and the U.S. here?
I want to see them continuing the push. They've been incredible advocates. They've been meeting us families time and time again over the past few months and since President Trump has been elected, and they've been proposing different frameworks on the table. I want to see them keeping the pressure on Qatar, Turkey, Iran on one hand so that Hamas will be forced for an agreement, and ensuring that Israel continue to be committed to this agreement. It's not a perfect framework, but it's one that can ensure the end of the war and the release of all the hostages, 48 in number, including my brother-in-law, Omri.
Okay, Moshe, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you and your sister and your entire family all the best.
Thank you.